Want to devote another segment to the Memphis mayor's race because we are only 2 weeks out at this point, and I just want to take a quick poll here amongst the three of you. If I throw up these three pictures, Paul Young, Floyd Bonner, and Willie Harrington together, would we all agree that it's jump ball between those three for sure as far as who we think could win this thing based on what we're hearing, the polling we're seeing, et cetera, et cetera? Deidre, you first.
Yeah, I think so. I think I would add Van in there. I think, you know, maybe Paul Young and Van Turner kind of tit for tat, in my view. But I think, you know, those are the top four.
Yeah, okay.
Absolutely.
Sam, you agree?
Yeah, I'd agree with that top four. I think that, you know, Van Turner has definitely surged with all these endorsements late here. I think both he and Paul Young showed how young and nimble they are in the debates. And I think that anyone who's undecided who was watching those got a pretty big sample size.
Otis.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Those are the top four, and I don't really know how to rank them right now because, again, I think this is the closest mayoral race since 1991. And it's anybody's to win, and right now it's anybody's to lose. And, you know, the late-breaking developments here could have an impact, but these are the four.
I've had a couple of campaign managers tell me in the last week they think whoever wins, they hope it's going to be their candidate, of course, it could be tight, 300 to 400 votes.
Oh, I think it easily could be. And nobody's going to get that huge number. You have Dr. Harrington out there now saying, I only need 30,000 votes to win it. So, and he may be right about that.
Yeah, we're going to show that soundbite in a second. But first, I want you to kind of dissect the early voting numbers that you took a closer look at and what you see based on where people are showing up to vote in early voting right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, and to not inundate people with the actual numbers, turnout so far in early voting is running ahead of 2019. Which is probably no surprise, but it's running very slightly behind 2015 when Strickland was running against incumbent A.C. Wharton. So I think that's significant. We'll see where it goes from there. But I was also looking at where the votes are being, where the ballots are coming from in the early voting sites. And I know that people can go anywhere to early vote, but I thought it was interesting that the number one by far early voting site was Second Baptist Church on Walnut Grove, which is at Poplar Corridor, and the second one was White Station Church of Christ. So we're looking. Number three, though, was Abundant Grace in Whitehaven. So you make of that what you will. Does that benefit any one candidate over another? I'm not sure.
What do you think about where they're showing up so far?
I think that there are a lot of people who are waiting and taking their time to really kind of dissect the candidates.
That undecided number, which we know has beaten everybody who's running right now.
Because we do have very qualified candidates in this mayoral race, and so a lot of people are still undecided. I mean, I'm getting calls every day. My son who lives in South Haven, Mom, Paul Young. My son that lives in Cordova, I don't know, maybe Van. So, you know, I mean, a lot of undecided still, I think.
It is a lot of.
Yeah.
So if you are J.W. Gibson and you know that the conventional wisdom is that I'm not in the conversation, I don't want to be in the conversation, you know what you got to do.
Absolutely.
You got to go negative, and he has done that. He's got a couple of ads targeting both Paul Young and Sheriff Bonner. Let's listen.
Sheriff Floyd Bonner isn't keeping Memphis safe. Violent crime and car break-ins are on the rise. 53 inmates have died on his watch. Floyd Bonner's out of chances to lead.
That's why you should vote for me, J.W. Gibson, for mayor.
Memphis loses again. Under Paul Young's leadership, Memphis lost multi-million-dollar development projects, costing taxpayers over $10 million. Paul Young is not ready to lead.
That's why you should vote for me, J.W. Gibson, for mayor.
Okay, does he make the case? What do you think? You're the political consultant here.
I think those are great ads, and it's going to get a lot of attention. I mean, to have Paul in a hoodie when you normally see him in a suit, I think that's classic.
Yeah. He had to dig for that picture.
Oh yeah, he had to dig for it, and so great ads. Not sure that it's going to move the needle though, because I think that these candidates have already built their case for why they should be elected.
So Willie Harrington's not running any ads, and he's in our conversations being absolutely one of the favorites. But he is doing very targeted interviews. He's visiting homes of people and talking to voters one-on-one, shaking hands one-on-one, and he's doing Facebook videos. And this one's getting a lot of play. I've had people have sent it to me. 3 different people have sent it to me this week. Let's show you 2 excerpts. One is his response to why he didn't feel like he needed to take part in any of the debates that the television stations did in the last week or 2.
I would have been bored. I watched the candidates. Everybody had canned answers to some very complex issues. So I didn't think it was in the public's best interest to have all of those forums. For the betterment of Memphis, we need to select a mayor who has a proven leadership track record. And I want to make it emphatically clear that we need 30,000 votes to win this election. We have done it before. Let's do it again.
It's like a 20-minute long video, so it was a challenge to find those 2 excerpts. But first of all, Otis, your response to his comments about the debate, he would have been bored had he gone. And then those 30,000 votes, he's got a point there.
Well, I mean, he would have spiced up the debates without a doubt. And I believe he could have shown himself to be the most qualified candidate if he had been there. He's not the incumbent. And I like Dr. Harrington, and I appreciate his service, but he's showing the height of arrogance here to tell people that I don't want to participate in that, and all you got to do is just shut up and go vote for me, and I need 30,000 of you to do so, and then I've got it. I'm not impressed with it as much as I like Dr. Harrington.
Well, he said he didn't want to advance the interests of the media outlets by going to attending in the debates, not realizing that those things cost us a lot of money.
I know.
We don't sell a single commercial. It does not advance our cause one bit to have a debate, but we do it as a public service. And the comment about canned answers, I don't know. I feel like, well, if you don't like their canned answers, that's why you're on stage, and you can give an answer that's not a canned answer.
Well, and he has not answered any tough questions much this year. He was on one of the other news stations behind the headlines you mentioned, but he has not answered any really tough questions in this so far.
What are your thoughts, Sam? You've talked to him one-on-one, did a profile piece on him. He's a very charismatic guy.
He did a podcast. People can go listen to that. I think he did get some tough questions there. He didn't love them. But if he gets 30,000 votes, correct me if I'm wrong, Deidre, he wins by a lot.
He wins by a lot with 17 people in the race. Yeah, absolutely.
That's a tremendous amount of votes. That's very confident. At the same time, you drive through Whitehaven, the corners have Harrington signs. Like he knows where his base is, and he's in pursuit of that base. As much as maybe we don't see him in the Poplar corridor, there's a sign across from Houston's, but that's about it.
Yeah, and as long as I've been covering Memphis mayoral politics, I've always been told, as Whitehaven goes, so does the city. And what are your thoughts about that?
Absolutely, Richard, and I can tell you what Otis calls arrogance, I call a level of experience, and he views it as wisdom.
Oh, yeah.
And so he feels like after 18 years of being mayor, I don't have to do these debates. You know what I'm capable of. You've seen my track record. Let me go back.
You either like it or you don't.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, I wanted to give you a quick chance because we're tight on time, but you wanted to weigh in on the District 5 City Council race. That's probably the most contentious. People have seen the ads, I'm sure, with Phil Spinoza and Megan Keel. That one's hot and heavy.
That one's hot and heavy. They're both doing mail. Phil Spinoza is attacking Megan Keel, saying that she wants to defund the police over a letter that was sent out in 2020 with 115 other nonprofit organizations. She came out this week hitting back. I mean, she, with Gary Shore, Gary Shore, Daryl Cobbins and some nonprofits basically saying, we didn't ask to defund the police, we asked for reallocation of funds within the police department to help with crime prevention. So that's a tough one. I think Mayor Strickland's come out for Spinoza, Patrice Robinson and Jeff Warren have come out for Megan, so they're fighting that out. It's a tough one.
It'll be interesting. All right,
Yes.
out of time on this one, but when we come back, a topic that Sam knows a thing or two about because he's been covering it religiously, and that is the simmering debate over what to do with Memphis sports stadiums and where all this money's going to go that's been given to us from the state to help finance it. We'll be right back.